God is going to speak to you in that time, prophetically, profoundly, in all the ways that you need. But woman of God, that does not mean that your situation is going to change overnight. So what you're going to have to do is cling to the word that God has given you. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care that. Hey Bible beauties, welcome back to the channel. I am so excited that you are here, y'all. We are in the final and fourth part of the series that I've been doing called Wife Life Group. A Bible beauty reached out and asked if I should divorce my husband. I can't answer that question for you. One, I am not Jesus. We know what Mark 10:9 says. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate. Furthermore, I don't know what's happening behind closed doors in your marriage. For example,
has there been betrayal? Is there abuse, sexual, mental, physically, emotional? Is it toxic? Is it dysfunctional?
All of those things, I don't know. However, I have had to answer this question for myself. So in this video, I'm giving you 5 R's to decide whether or not you should divorce your husband.
We're in the final and fourth part of the series that I've been doing called Wife Life Group.
I hope you've been blessed by the series. I've been trying to rock a white the entire time because hello, being a wife, walking down the aisle, you know, all of that. But since today we are talking about divorce, I decided to switch it up a little bit and wear black. If you're new here, then you should know that every single week I make videos to help women conquer life by leveraging the courageous love of Jesus. Since we have the life part and the love part, then in this video, you're going to see parts of my life. Now, this question of whether or not I should divorce my husband became very real, realer than it's ever been, when my husband was offered a new job opportunity in Austin, Texas, and it was like, we gonna have to move to Texas, and I was like, who? I know you lying. So because of that, in this video, you're going to see a vlog of my family relocating to Austin, Texas. And the love part is going to be these 5 R's to help you navigate whether or not you should divorce your husband. Give a huge shout out and thank you to my fashion bestie, Miss Shayna, over at The Fashion Chase for putting together this beautiful going away dinner. Y'all go ahead and give her a follow. Check out her channel, subscribe, do all that. Y'all know I'm a vlog.
You ain't have no A rolls, you have B rolls.
We want to be on the
well, come on.
Yeah, I want to be a Bible beauty.
Right, you already you on the channel. She is a mess. Help her, please. Right, I like it a lot.
If he playing this for you, he's gonna need his little short button down.
Oh, baby, if you playing this, wear your short sleeve, okay? They can have Pokemon characters on the bottom.
The first R is reality. If you have reached a point in your marriage where you are pondering whether or not you should get a divorce, then you are experiencing pain, heartache, grief, a whole gamut of emotions that are difficult. So I just want to name that reality first and foremost and let you know that I see you. I stand with you, woman of God, Bible beauty, and I am praying for you often because I know that pain. So here are 5 scriptures that I clung to when it felt like divorce was the only way to relieve the pain. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing to the glory that will be revealed in us. Let us not become weary in well-doing, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not faint. One of the most painful things for me when I was weighing this question of whether or not I should divorce my husband was that, hey, I'm doing the best that I can to do every single thing right. And I was just so tired, sick and tired of being tired, tired of the disagreements, tired of the misunderstanding, tired of the lack of communication, just tired. But we do everything that we do for the glory of God. It ain't even about you or your spouse or your kids or the opinions of everybody around you. We do it for the glory of God. And sis, don't get tired in it, because you are going to reap a harvest. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. Come on, somebody. Have you ever needed to renew your strength? They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Keep putting your hope in the Lord. As you wait for an answer on whether or not you should divorce your husband, remember that you are waiting for God. You're not waiting for your husband to change.
You're not waiting for him to see your perspective, your way, to get on board and to submit to you and say, oh my goodness, you've been right this whole time. I am so wrong.
That's not what you're waiting on. You are waiting on God. And God will tell you what it is that he wants you to do in this season. Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful. Put your hope in the Lord, build your hope on things eternal, and hold on to it. Know that he is faithful to everything that he has promised, okay? So keep on holding on to that hope. And the second R is my favorite. Well, it's like my second favorite, but I love this R. Because we moved to Austin, it was important that we took time to see Sean's family before relocating all the way to Texas. Both of his grandmothers are still living, so we wanted to, again, make sure that we were able to spend time with them.
And what is this place?
Why is this place what?
What? I don't know.
Yeah, here, come on, turn up. Turn up, turn up. You know what that means?
What?
You don't know what turn up means?
No.
I'll tell you about it at the table.
Oh, fine. What's my dare?
Is it true?
Hey, what?
And then Ella Rose has a dare for her.
Sneak cookies out of the pantry.
That's very true. Why did you just ask for a spoon, Ella Rose?
Why did she just? But we don't need to put hot in the mouth for the dare. It's gonna be so fun.
Well, I've been dared, so it's. Thank you so much.
Now, Ashton, what you doing? Mom, do the dare.
Alright, so I've been dared by Ella Rose to put a lot of hot sauce in my mouth.
This is good.
Turn out bad.
That's enough.
Everybody see it?
Do it now.
1,
2, 3. Can you take mom one more time? Wait.
Hold on, Addie.
Hotel. And the second R is my favorite. Well, it's like my second favorite, but I love this R.
And it is recovery. I want you to recover everything that you feel like you've lost up to this point that has you trying to figure out whether or not you need to divorce your husband. Because I'm telling you, if you are pondering that question, then you are in a space where you feel like, no, I've lost my identity, I've lost my friends, I've lost my confidence, I've lost my joy, I've lost my connection to my spouse. Whatever it is, you feel like you have lost some stuff. What I'm encouraging you to do for this R is to answer the question, who do I want to become once I am divorced? The reason why that question is so important, because a lot of women feel like, girl, if I just get a divorce, then I'm gonna travel again, I'm gonna lose this weight, I'm gonna take a class, I'm gonna move, I'm gonna get back in school, all the things. And so I want you to start recovering that now. You're gonna travel when you get that divorce, start traveling now. You wanna lose weight, then go ahead and start knocking those pounds off now. You feel like you wanna get back out there and you wanna start dating, well, guess what? Go ahead and start dating your husband, dating your man. Be that chick now, so that if you get to the end of these 5 R's and to the end of this journey where you're trying to figure out whether or not you should get a divorce, and it's like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I got ahead of God. I stepped out of his will and I ended up in a relationship that he never intended for me. I ended up married to someone who was detrimental to my purpose for Jesus Christ. And I do, in fact, have to get a divorce. If that's where you find yourself at the end of this journey, then guess what? When you get there, you'll already be the woman whom you wanted to be. A lot of times God won't change your circumstances, but he'll change you in them. You are his daughter. You are his prized possession. You are his concern. He wants to fix you. He wants to sanctify you. He wants to purify you. He wants to clean you. Recover, girl. Recover everything that you feel like you lost. Your dreams, your hope, your passions, your ambitions, your business idea. Recover all of it. And once you begin to do that, you'll be in a good place for the next R, which is
with the kids had to go to the bathroom.
okay.
Got it. Or not. This hotel.
Yeah. Huh?
You've been to this hotel before?
I have not.
Excited. Gym.
Oh yeah, get some workout in.
Let me do this one is off.
Push, push, push. It's heavy. Use it how to. Ooh, it's cold. So there, yeah, we got a TV.
And once you begin to do that, you'll be in a good place for the next R, which is
reflection. Now, I didn't have you reflecting from the beginning because if you a whole hot mess and you've lost yourself and you're down and out and you're depressed, I'm not saying that dismissively because I've been there, which I'm going to talk more about in next month's series.
But bring it back, let's say here.
Now you're in a place where you can reflect with more of a clear head. You know, for me, it was about whether or not I was going to move to Austin, Texas. Clearly, I told my husband, like, you got to go. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. You'd be crazy not to accept it. You have to go to Austin, Texas. I just don't know if God's telling me to go to Austin, Texas. Let me check with him and then I'll get back with you. But in the meantime, I'm trying to figure out whether or not I should divorce my husband, because if I don't go to Texas, then that means we're done here. So what I did is
I made a list of no, I don't want to go to Austin, and yes, I want to go to Austin.
I want to encourage you to make a list saying, yes, I want a divorce. No, I don't want a divorce, and list out all the pros and cons of both. In both columns, I want you to add a section that says lack of trust. Just list out all the things that reveal a lack of trust for both options. Then I want you to add a section for fears. What scares you about getting a divorce? What scares you about staying in the marriage? I was gung-ho. I'm like, yeah, we getting a divorce. That's it. Clearly, that's what God is saying.
And I talked about it in my live. We moved to Texas a little bit further there, so go check that out.
But I made this list. I realized that I had way more fears about staying married than divorce. And the fears weren't about my husband. They really weren't about my marriage. They were about the people and the things that would be negatively impacted if I stayed in my marriage, like my job, for example. But that was so insightful for me because, you know, I always say God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, Satan does, and I don't accept no gifts from Satan, so you can take your fear on back. I'm quick to be like, no, return to sender, put your fear over there. I operate courageously, period. Conquer life with courageous love, okay? But I realized, wow, the whole reason I want a divorce is based in fear. Trick of the enemy, he tried it. No. Get your little fear and take it on back over there. And when you start to figure out the fears, you can then give it back to Satan and start operating with a sound mind. And then the last thing that I did as I was reflecting is I figured out the cost of each. What was it going to cost me to stay in Nashville, get a divorce? What was it going to cost me to move to Austin / stay married to my husband? I'm not talking financially, because regardless of the financial cost, it was going to be too much for me. Because you know I'm cheap, girl. You know I'm frugal. I can't do it. But I digress. What's it going to cost in terms of the impact on the things that matter to you, the things that are important to you? What is it going to cost as it pertains to peace, strength, joy. All right, so that's how I reflected. But I wasn't done, because there were 2 more things that I needed to do before deciding whether or not I should divorce my husband. And the next one is So our last spot did not work out because they closed at 3, but they were not taking more people despite it being, I think, before noon at the time. So we are at Old Faithful. Can't go wrong with this in the South.
Bubbles everywhere. Oh, there were 2 more things that I needed to do before deciding whether or not I should divorce my husband. And the next one
is request. Talk to your spouse and make the necessary request. What are you going to need in order to stay? Not ultimatums and demands, but pure-hearted, genuine communication about, hey, I'm feeling this. I need us to go to counseling. I need us to address what happened 5 years ago. I need us to have a conversation with this family member. I need to have a date night every week. I need, when you come home, to have a conversation with me. I need you to put your phone away at the dinner table. I don't know, whatever you need, make those requests, because we have to be fair in the process. We can't like, well, I want a divorce and I'm mad and I'm upset, I'm over it, I'm done, sign these papers. And we haven't even given our spouse a chance to know what our needs are and to meet those needs. And I get it. I can hear you. You might be saying, girl, they don't care. That's the reason why I'm trying to get a divorce now, because I've been told him what he needs to do, why he needs to do it, when he needs to do it, and he ain't done it yet. Okay? I hear you. I get it. But remember, we're not waiting for him to change. We are waiting for God's directions, for God's voice, for God's decision, for his plan, for his will, for his desires for you. We're waiting for him to speak to you. But in the meantime, we're going to make the necessary requests to our spouse, and we're going to keep on moving to the final R. Y'all, it is day 1 of packing. I'm not completely sure how I feel about it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Day 1 of 3. I have a ton of laundry to fold. Yeah, I don't even know. I can't even organize my life right now. But let's get to it. Those are the keepers.
These are the keepers. So
Thank you.
I'm about the candy canes.
See, I wouldn't have gone with those, but I'll take it. I appreciate it. It's how you compromise in a marriage. I love my flannels. My husband, not so much. I have 3 favorites. I let him choose 2 to get rid of because I love him. But he's going to buy me something for my compromise. Right back?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Sean said he want to get me something for our move. But I think he lying to me. I think this is my bag from Christmas. But
Mine is such a harsh word.
I think he's joking. All right, let's see if he's joking. I'm about to hurt him.
It's full of love.
That's right. That's all I need. I need that way more than Louis anyway. Lord's Victory. That's the only LV. If you're in the Nashville area and you need a real estate agent, let me know because ours is the absolute best. She bought over gifts for all 6 of us and I'm so grateful. We bought our house with her. We sold our house with her. She rocks. Let me know if you need somebody. Oh yeah, though I don't understand those, but they are really popular. Final R is refuge. You've done all the things, but we know that the ultimate thing we need is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So we're gonna take refuge in God. And it's important when trying to figure out whether or not you should divorce your husband for you to take everything to God. all the pain when you were in the reality, all the desires and passions and things you want to recover, all of the insight you inquired from the reflection, all of the requests you've made to your spouse, take them all to God and lay it out on the table. Present your case. This is what it is. This is what I need. God, do with it as you see fit. Lead me where you want me to go. Take refuge in Him. Lean on Him. Trust in Him. Just sit with Him. Let Him cover you. Let Him keep you. Let Him protect you. Let Him guide you. Let Him provide for you. As I was pondering the question whether or not I should divorce my husband, and I was taking refuge in God, a woman of God reached out to me and said, hey, I was up late last night studying and I was listening to old sermons from church. I looked up and I saw you walk up onto the stage. And God told me to tell you there are some things He wants you to hear in this message. He wants to remind you of from this message. And I went to listen.
And it's a whole testimony behind it. I'm really going to have to find the line to share it with you.
But long story short, it was the sermon from 2012 when I joined Mount Zion Baptist Church in Nashville, Tennessee, where Bishop Joseph Warren Walker III is the pastor, and the church where I met my husband. But the thing about the sermon, what God wanted me to hear again, is that He is in the miracle working business. He is restoring marriages. He is faithful to families. He does believe in unity. It is true that no man can tear what He joins together, period. After rewatching the sermon, the only reason I could have spiritually and supernaturally joined that church on that Sunday is so that I would hear that message in this season of my life. The message was completely irrelevant to my life at the time. I was 24 years old, living my best life, single and loving it. Yet I joined a church after hearing a marriage that was all about family. Like, somebody make it make sense. You can't. His ways and His thoughts are infinitely superior to our own. We have to take refuge in God. Do all the other R's and take refuge in God, because it is there when you are quiet, when you are still, when you are sitting at His feet, that He's going to speak to you. And let me tell you this before I wrap this thing up, okay? God is going to speak to you in that time, prophetically, profoundly, in all the ways that you need. But woman of God, that does not mean that your situation is going to change instantly, overnight, completely, consummately, all that. It doesn't mean that. So what you're going to have to do is cling to the word that God has given you. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care that he's still tripping, girl. It don't matter. The only thing that matters is what God says to you. Cling to that, His unchanging hands. All right?
There's some place we can't get back in.
Wow, that's not good. Good morning.
Morning, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
But I can do it.
Okay. Your hand's probably a lot smaller than mine. Right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, well, we got a long time before our flight, okay?
There, Daddy. Are we almost to C18? I don't like this. What? Stop watching Facebook. This is fascinating.
Y'all, I pray that this video has helped you. I'm so sorry that you are in that place where you're trying to figure out if divorce is the best option for you. I know it's painful, and I am praying for you for real. If you want to send me a private message over on Instagram at Yasmine_Williams-Woods, please do. If you have a testimony that you want to share of your own journey, whether you got the divorce or you didn't get the divorce, whatever it is, I encourage you to leave it in the chat to bless another woman. But you can DM me that as well. I am standing with you, sis. I am believing on your behalf, and I am keeping you covered in prayer for sure. And thank you so much for doing the same for me on my journey again.
It's the wallpaper for me, because I saw this wallpaper on Love It or List It. You know, I'm an HGTV fanatic. I'm here for it. I'm here for the details and the decor. Also, we keep seeing this everywhere, or everybody's like, y'all moving to Austin? Like, their whole thing in Austin is keep Austin weird. So it's right down thing for us, and you know, details. I like the backsplash out in a herringbone pattern. I'm saying smaller subway tile. I don't know if it will constitute as actual subway tile, but I like it. I like it. All right, y'all. So that is the end of our move to Nashville. We are here. It is the end of night 1. You got some closing words? He does that in every scene, every clip. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thanks for all your prayers as we acclimate to our new life in Austin.
I will see y'all on the next video, but before we get to Wednesday's live and Thursday's video, I want you to go ahead, click the like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of that. Do all of that so I can keep on coming back with more videos now. All right, y'all. Bye.
Get my nice PJs in your bed.
Oh my Lord. Bye.